loss of remission, loss of physical, and they're going half far, that sort of thing. But then gradually, after the second hunger strike and 10 of our comrades died in H blocks, we were looking at our position in the prison and we felt, we're going to have to work it some other way. We tried so long. By then it was the end of 81. And we've been on this protest for nearly 6 years.
Which protest was that?
Well, we've been on the no work, then we went on the no wash, and then we came off the no wash. When Bobby Sands went on hunger strike, we came off the no wash so that all focus could be placed on the hunger strike, because we learned from the first one that being on the no wash didn't allow us the same opportunities to communication and that.
Right.
So we learned from that and we came off the no wash and not just stayed on the no work. But at the end of that, we realised, we're going to have to change the tactics. So we felt that maybe we should move about 5 women into the system and see if we could fight the structure within the system and build up ourselves from within the system.
And what do you mean by within the system?
Move off the no work protest, move into the system and try to break down, all the things that they'd set up against us, you see.
So that would mean giving some semblance of conformity then?
Well, what they would term but of course they don't term, they still consider us non-conformist.
Right.
So we moved 5 into the system to see how it would work. And those 5 were very severely punished. Now, the administration realised at that time, obviously, what we were doing, So they came out and at that time there was no isolation wing. And they introduced an isolation wing. Boards, what we called that, is throwing you into solitary for 3 days, solitary confinement. Your cell's completely stripped. You're left with nothing. You're just left with a bar cell and the Bible. And they give you the mattress in at about half 7 at night. And you come in the next morning at 7:30, take it out again. You're left all day just on boards, with the floor. And this type of, there's an increase in punishment in that sense. And it ended up the fact that we'd sent off were being more severely punished than us who were still on in the work protest.
Right.
We were just getting the usual, locked up during working hours, loss of remission, but these ones were getting far more psychological torture, you see.
And what, did they give any reason for that, or did they try to justify it in any way?
No, they don't.
They don't have to?
They don't feel they have to.
Yeah.
In Ireland they don't feel that. They justify anything, they just do. So we saw the harassment increasing, but no matter how much you lock a person up, it can affect people. But they've done similar to this before, throwing you into a bar cell. You're still been locked up for days and days. No, really, they're depriving you of all privileges, but can be handled. And I think they felt themselves it wasn't enough.
Do you feel that doing that actually strengthened the resolve of the women?
Oh yeah, it strengthens your determination.
Yeah.
You're going to have to either survive it or you don't survive it. And if you have to fight the whole time. It's the only thing that's going to keep you going. If you don't fight, you just fall down and they walk over you completely and you're finished, because they just go in and finish you off, But determination, comradeship is a big thing. Comradeship is a huge thing. But just to finish that, then we felt 1982, at the end of that, strip searching was introduced.
Right.
Now, it's our belief it was introduced as a political decision because they had been stepping up harassment and they knew we were moving into the system gradually, and they felt that so far all types of, punishment haven't worked, and this really was their last.
This is their trump card, yeah.
And the whole idea there was, to pick on the remands. The remands were going to be the ones who were going to eventually be sentenced with us. And they said, right, when they're coming in, and most of them come in very young. Of course, there's elderly ones as well who also suffer from the strip searching. And that's the time to try and, psychologically get in there and break them. And we felt that was the whole thing behind it, that you cannot understand strip searching unless you look at a historical analysis of what has happened through the years in prison, So then we started strip searching every time the remands were going out to court, which is once a week. We have to go into court. So it was only 200 yards, the courthouse from Armagh prison. Brought them down, stripped them completely naked. If they refused to strip, they were held down. 5 up to 10 female screws came in, held them down, threw them down on the ground and stripped them completely naked, forcibly, and ones were getting beaten. And this is just they just got stuck into you, Not only you're completely vulnerable, and we felt, right, they're taking you down there and they're capable, you're totally on your own, And the whole idea behind it is you're there on your own. Comradeship is a thing so important to you in jail.
Right.
Your comrades are back there, and they're trying to,
They're passionate on that.
yes,
Right.
they know what keeps you strong, so therefore they're trying to find something that's going to break that strength.
So they isolate you and strip you naked, and that's.
And they think stripping you totally of your identity, and you're standing there naked. They're going through your clothes while you're just standing there naked, and then they come in, rub your hands, lift your feet up, rub your feet, turn around, just as it's indicated in the play. That is exactly how they do. And you know, you're standing there and you're saying, I know exactly what they're trying to do here. I know what it is. And you just have to keep your mind on other things, or just, well, really what I did was, I know what you're trying to do to me, and you aren't going to get away with it, because I know, I understand what you're trying to do. And, you know, you are the animal, it's not me, you know. You're the one with the problem here.
Right.
So that's the way I just did it, you know, on my way out of jail. Like, I was in prison. I was never strip searched, because when I was a remand, there was no strip searching. And I'd enter prison visits, and you're supposed to be strip searching those. But I refused to take the visit if I was to be stripped. And they said, okay, if you refuse to strip, you forfeit that visit. So I didn't get into prison visits anymore. So my first strip was actually the day I was being released. And I felt then, walking out after 10.5 years, you know, I was just saying to myself, this is it, this is the final kick, you know, the final insult we're going to hit you with, you know. It's like, what's a big security risk there? I mean, walking out of Maghaberry prison as it was, you know, there is no security risk. But I knew that, but it isn't a security thing.
No.
It's nothing, because and I think the one example that proves this is the day we were moved from Armagh prison to Maghaberry prison. That was on the 18th of March in 1986. Right, they were moving what they termed us as the top security Republican prisoners, right? And they felt that that's why a strip search was introduced, because we were all such, quote, terrorists, and therefore we were a big security risk to move anyway. They moved all of us from Armagh and Maghaberry prison. They never stripped one of us, because they knew they couldn't strip us all, because public pressure may crucify them. So they wouldn't do it. But the next day they took 2 of our remands out to Lisburn Court, which is only down the road from Maghaberry prison, and they stripped them.
And these women hadn't been in contact with anybody else. It was just within the
prison. They take you out from where you're stripped, put you into a van. It's a lorry, and there's cells in the lorry.
Right.
You're locked into a cellular compartment. And within the van. Right, you're escorted then, usually by 4 or 5 cavalry sprints. You're escorted down to the court. You're taken out of the sealed compartment. You're escorted into a cell into Lisburn Court. You're brought upstairs. You appear in Lisburn Court for about a minute. You're brought back down, locked back in the cell, and they bring you out, lock you back into the compartment. You don't see anybody. You don't even see your solicitor. The solicitor has to come up to the jail to see you if he wants to see you. You don't see anybody. You're brought straight back to the prison.
So that again would just reinforce the thing that it isn't the security thing, it's just a fantasy, that there's absolutely no
they feel
logic.
they feel it's a means to torture, oppress and repress them. And they feel that it's really the only thing that they have, because we've been through so much that, you know, they think that maybe this is one thing that will get rid of it.
So they just systematically tried various things, and that's a trump card. The strip search is a trump card.
And so far they haven't come up with something else, but they probably will, because they're always trying.
Yeah. People at work on it. The other thing, you've already sort of briefly touched on it there. You've seen the play Simon with that line in rehearsal. And how do you feel about that in relation to the strip search campaign, or in relation to the issue of strip searching?
Well, I feel it's very effective. As I say, I've seen it, and I find it very moving. And I found parts of it amusing, because it reminded me so much of the jail. It reminded me of Maghaberry, of the women sitting around talking, you know, before the other Patsy comes in. And I felt that was very effective. But the strip search itself, the way you've carried it out, and I just feel it's very effective, and it hits, you know. It was emotional the first time I saw it. You know, a lump came in my throat, because it does remind me. And I feel that the women themselves inside, who have already told them about it, in fact, they would love to see it. Of course, they're not going to see it, but they'll see it eventually. But I know they would love it too. And all the other women Breach and that who have also seen it.
Yeah.
They said to me, "What did I feel?" And I says, "Well, I thought it was very good." And they said, "Yes, they thought so too." I really do. It does. It's very. It's hard to explain. You know, it's hard to explain a strip search unless you've been through it. But that really does show it as close as what you can ever do without getting through it. And that's my feelings about it. And I feel that the poem that accompanies it. You know, it just gives a whole sinister atmosphere, which is what is actually
being fostered. They're fostering the sinister
see when you're in there. You just feel it, and you feel that when you're reading that out, you just feel alone. You know, you feel it's all the feelings are coming across, and that's why I feel it is so emotive, and I saw it the first time.